Hey everyone, thanks for joining back. I'm joined by Kirk Greer. Kirk, what kind of advice would you give to our families who are just so busy? Their kids have busy schedules, the parents have busy schedules. How do we make time in the midst of this busyness?
Yeah, well, I'd be the first to humbly say that any advice I might give, I'm having to live out myself. And so for me as a dad, this started with embracing several just honestly difficult truths. I mean, number one, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. I mean, that's just a fact. And number two, in this day and age, we have kind of more influence over how we all spend that 24 hours than really any human beings in history have. Now, I realize everybody watching this might have a little bit of more autonomy to one degree or another, but we have an incredible amount of influence over how we do spend our time today. And I would also say this is difficult. We are pursuing the things that are most important to us. So as a dad, if you look at my schedule over the last 6 months, I have been pursuing the things that are most important to me. And that's a hard truth that I have to embrace if I'm going to really think about my busyness and how that impacts my family's life and my parenting specifically. So, the other thing I'd say is that my kids learn a lot more by watching me live life than they do by listening to what I say. So as a result, my habits, my patterns, my schedule, my calendar, my routines matter a lot with regard to, and same for April, of course, my wife, with regard to the direction of our home, and just how much intentionality we're putting into our parenting. So with that framework, I mean, I tried years ago to implement some simple but very intentional soft rules. So things like, I just never try to do a project around the house by myself. I know I can change a garbage disposal much quicker by myself than I can with one of my kids under the sink with me. But man, we've got so many great stories because of those crazy projects over the years. As a result, I'm never trying to run an errand by myself. I'm always going to try to grab one of the kids. And look, I have teenagers. I have a sophomore in college who's 19. I have a senior in high school who's almost 18, and a sophomore in high school who's just about to be 16. They have in their minds better things to do than run to Home Depot again with dad. But I'm still going to ask, and I'm still going to try to make that a priority because we have had so many great conversations running through the aisles at Lowe's over the years that I just can't even, I can't imagine if we didn't have that time. So those are simple things. I mean, it's figuring out what they're passionate about and then finding a way to be directly involved in it. So in my world, if there was a team, I wanted to coach it, even if it was a sport I never played. If there's a huddle group, we want to volunteer in it. And it's not by any means to be overbearing or micromanaging or helicoptery. That's not what we're after at all. We're just looking to be around. And then in doing that, to let them breathe. You've got to give them, we try really hard to give them space to express their own personalities in their own ways with their friends and teammates and people that they're hanging out with. Got to give them room to breathe. But the guy who discipled me told me years ago, way before I ever had kids, that there is no quality of time without mass quantities of time. So we're all after quality time. And he just drove home this notion that there is not going to be magical quality of time unless you have quantity of time. So for us in our house, before we ever had kids, April and I decided we were going to try to plant that flag at the dinner table. We were going to try to gather together for dinner almost every single night that we could as a family. Friends always included, neighbors, whoever, but certainly our family at the dinner table together. And sometimes that means we're eating dinner at 4:30 in the afternoon, which is ridiculous. And sometimes we're eating dinner at 9:30. Sometimes it's an awesome home cooked meal, and sometimes it's coming out of a fast food bag. But the whole point to it is not so much what we're eating, but that we're together. No phones, no TV. And it's our daily opportunity to, in the midst of all the busyness and craziness, to reframe everybody's day as a function of what God's had for us, the good, the bad, the easy, the difficult, and to just be able to check in with one another. and just find out what the Lord did that day, and to remind us all, me included as the dad, that, hey, this was the Lord's day, right? This wasn't ever really about me to begin with. And that's just a really healthy rhythm that's kind of helped us deal with the busyness in our schedules as a family over the years.
I love that. At the beginning, you said we all have 24 hours in a day. And I can't help but think about Paul writing to the church in Ephesus saying, make the best use of the time, for the days are evil. And so,
Yeah.
families, just remember, you got 24 hours. You only have 18 years with your kids in theory. And so make the best use of the time, for the days are evil. Student or parents, I hope that this helps you guys. Have a great day.